She didn't fall in love with you. She fell in love with how you made her feel in the moment. She wanted attention, not commitment. And you gave her everything. But what if I told you? She was never yours. You were just filling a space in her life. A temporary fix, a warm body, a safe distraction. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to tell when a woman never truly saw you as her person. I'll expose 5 painful but necessary red flags most men miss. And in the end, I'll tell you how to finally break this pattern for good, so you never get played like this again. So if you've ever felt ghosted, used, or left asking, was any of it real? Stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll see everything differently. And you'll never ignore these signs again. Now let's get real. She never planned a future with you. She just didn't want to be alone. And when someone better came along, you were gone. Without warning. Without closure. And the truth is, you were loyal to someone who was emotionally unavailable from day one. She used your presence to quiet her own pain. But when you needed her, suddenly, she had nothing to give. You thought it was love. But love doesn't leave you feeling empty. It wasn't love. It was a trauma bond. One-sided validation. A game you didn't even know you were playing. And now you're here, trying to understand what the hell just happened. Let's unpack it together. Number 1. She loved the chase, not the connection. You ever notice how she was all in at the beginning? Texting first. Calling you just to hear your voice. Telling you she's never felt this way before. But once she knew you were hooked, something changed. The calls stopped. The texts slowed down. You started feeling like a burden for simply showing up with love. That's not connection. That's chasing a thrill. She loved the version of you that was hard to get. The mystery. The challenge. The dopamine rush of pulling you in. But the moment things got real, when you opened up, when you showed her your scars, when you asked for consistency, she pulled away. Because what she wanted wasn't a partner. It was the high of being wanted. She loved attention, not intimacy. She wanted effort, but only when it fed her ego. You were showing up with depth. She was showing up for a game. And the cruelest part? You thought you were building something real. But she was already losing interest. As soon as she knew she had your heart. Number 2. Her past was always an excuse. At first, you respected it. She told you she had a rough past. Bad relationships. Toxic exes. Emotional scars that never fully healed. You listened. You showed patience. You gave her room to feel safe. But over time, that past became her shield. Her get-out-of-jail-free card. Every time she hurt you, she'd say, "That's just how I am. I've been through a lot." When she went cold, "I have trust issues." When she got jealous or controlling, "I've been cheated on before." When she shut you out completely, "I just need time. You don't understand what I've been through." And at some point, you started shrinking. You stopped speaking up. Because every time you did, she turned it around on you. As if your pain was the problem. And her past was the reason you had to accept it. But here's the truth. Having a painful past isn't the red flag. We all carry wounds. The red flag is when someone refuses to heal, refuses to take accountability, and uses their trauma to justify their bad behavior. Because love doesn't mean becoming someone's emotional punching bag. It doesn't mean sacrificing your peace for someone who's not even trying to grow. You were offering patience. But she was offering excuses. You were building trust. But she was building walls. You thought you were helping her heal. But you were just bleeding next to her wounds. Number 3. She thrives on male attention, even when she has you. It started off subtle. She posted a photo. You saw the likes. The fire emojis. The comments from guys calling her wifey material. At first, you brushed it off. She's attractive, of course people notice. No big deal, right? But then it became a pattern. She'd tell you she's tired. But somehow had energy to post thirst traps late at night. She wouldn't reply to your messages for hours. But you'd see her in the comments section. Laughing with guys. Dropping hearts and flirty emojis. And when you brought it up, she called you insecure. Told you to stop controlling her. Said, I'm just friendly, it's not that deep. But here's what no one tells you. When a woman truly values you, she protects your peace. She's not out here fishing for validation from every guy with Wi-Fi and a thumb. She doesn't need backup plans. She doesn't need a fan club. She chooses you. Fully. Loudly. And consistently. But this one. She wanted the relationship title. But not the respect that comes with it. She wanted the boyfriend. And the followers too. She needed applause. She needed DMs. She needed to feel desired. Even if it meant disrespecting the man standing beside her. And that's the red flag. When she craves public attention more than private loyalty. When she's addicted to being wanted. Even when she already has someone who chose her. Because you weren't jealous. You were just asking for what's fair. Number 4. She weaponizes her past trauma to control you. Let's get this straight. Everyone has a past. We all carry scars. Some wounds are deep, and healing takes time. But there's a difference between healing and hiding behind your hurt to excuse toxic behavior. She told you, my ex really messed me up. That's why I'm distant sometimes. That's why I lash out. And you understood. You were patient. You gave her grace, because that's what good men do. But soon, that past became a shield. A way to shut down every conversation. A weapon to silence you the moment you spoke up. You asked for honesty. She said you were triggering her. You asked for consistency. She called you just like her ex. You tried to hold her accountable. She spun it back to her trauma. And before you knew it, you weren't in a relationship. You were walking on eggshells. Trying not to reopen old wounds. Trying not to be the bad guy. While your needs, your feelings, and your peace got buried. Here's the truth. Her pain might be real. But so are your boundaries. She doesn't get to punish you for someone else's sins. She doesn't get to hold you hostage to her healing. And she definitely doesn't get to manipulate your kindness. Just because she's been through a lot. Being a man with empathy does not mean being a man without limits. You deserve love that's mutual. Growth that's shared. And peace that isn't earned through sacrifice. Because trauma is not an excuse to treat people poorly. It's a responsibility to do the work, not a license to do damage. And if she keeps making you the villain in her story, just to avoid accountability in yours, that's not healing. That's emotional control. Number 5. She competes with you instead of supporting you. You share a win. She downplays it. You talk about your goals. She suddenly talks about hers, but louder. You're building momentum, trying to grow as a man. And instead of encouragement, you feel like you're stuck in a quiet rivalry you never signed up for. At first, it seemed subtle. She'd make little jokes about how she works harder. She'd one-up your stories. She'd compare everything. income, friends, even who gets more likes online. But over time, it becomes obvious. She's not cheering for you. She's competing with you. And a relationship built on competition instead of collaboration. That's not love, it's ego warfare. Every time you level up, she doesn't get inspired. She gets insecure. And rather than clap for you, she gets quiet, distant. Or starts an argument out of nowhere. All because your success made her feel small. But here's the hard truth. A woman who truly loves you doesn't need to win against you. She wins with you. She celebrates your growth. Pushes you to be better. And knows that your shine doesn't dim hers. You're not looking for a rival in your own home. You're looking for a partner. Someone who builds with you, not battles you. Because if her pride is more important than your progress, you'll always have to shrink to make her feel big. And the moment a woman sees your elevation as a threat, instead of a shared victory, you're no longer in love. You're in a silent power struggle. And trust me, that kind of love will drain you dry. Know when to walk away. Brother, relationships aren't just about affection. They're about alignment. It's not enough that she looks good, laughs at your jokes, or texts back fast. If her energy drains you more than it builds you, that's not your person, that's your warning sign. Too many men stay in situations where they feel unseen, unheard, and unvalued. All because they're scared to start over. But staying with the wrong woman out of fear is how you lose yourself in silence. If you saw these red flags and thought, "Damn, this feels familiar," you're not crazy. You're finally seeing clearly. The strongest thing a man can do isn't to fight for love that's breaking him. It's to walk away with his self-worth intact. And don't think for a second that being alone means you're losing. Because peace is never a loss. It's a reset. And from there, you build better. You love smarter. And next time, you choose with your soul, not your scars. Stick around, because in upcoming videos, I'll break down how to rebuild your confidence after a toxic relationship. And how to spot the kind of woman who's built to love a man like you. If this spoke to you, drop a comment. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because Mind of Man is just getting started.